was an early settlement of simple huts. Settlers built a dam across the river, hence the name Amsterdam, or the dam built across the Amstel.
Now, fast forward a few hundred years. Amsterdam has grown into a fortified medieval village, complete with dikes, ditches, and canals to control the sea level. Even this far back in time, it was an important trading hub. Ships sailed back and forth across the Baltic Sea carrying grain, cloth, wood, and salt. The original wall of Amsterdam would have been to our right. During the Middle Ages, a moat, now called a singel, encircled the city. The church you see, the St. Nicholas, was built centuries later. Named after the patron saint of seafarers, it stood overlooking the harbor. Also to our right is the 15th century Schreier's Tower. This outer defense tower got its name from the scare, or sharp corner, formed by the city walls that met here.
Look to the left. Nothing you see, including the land itself, was here during medieval times. Over the centuries, much of the land around us was wrestled from the sea. To reclaim this polder, or land that was once covered by lakes and seas, industrious Amsterdammers built dikes and used windmills and pumps to get rid of unwanted water. And they've done an amazing and ingenious job of it. When it comes to controlling sea levels, the Netherlands takes the lead worldwide.
అక్కడ స్లోగన్ చూడు, వీ ఫిల్టర్ కాఫీ నాట్ పీపుల్. ది బెస్ట్ కాఫీ ఈజ్ ది కాఫీ.
The building with flags atop it is the former Scheepvaart House, or shipping house. A group of shipping companies ran their businesses from here. This early 20th century building is considered to be the first true example of the Amsterdam school style of architecture. The front of the building is impressively adorned with statues of Neptune, his wife, and 4 figures that represent the points of the compass. The building is decorated inside and out with all kinds of nautical symbols, anchors, ships, and famous Dutch mariners. It's now a 5-star luxury hotel.
ఆ రెండు బర్డ్స్ న్యాచురలే కదా, ఒరిజినల్. ఇక్కడ ఈ పిల్లర్స్ మీద 2 బర్డ్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, అవి బర్డ్స్ ఒరిజినలే. బాగుంది ప్యాలెస్. రెస్టారెంట్ కదా ఇది. మీ ఇంటి దగ్గర ఉన్న మీడియా మార్కెట్. ప్రతి 2 నిమిషాలకు ఒక ఫ్లైట్ పోతుంది కదా, వచ్చే ఫ్లైట్ పోయే ఫ్లైట్.
The golden age of the 17th century was a stellar time for Amsterdam. From politics and the economy to arts and science, everything flourished. And the city was now the most important trade center in Europe. There are many reasons for Amsterdam's astounding success. It had the largest and most progressive shipbuilding industry in Europe. Dutch traders sailed farther than anyone else to newly discovered lands in the Far East and to North and South America. They organized into companies like the Dutch East Indian Company and the Dutch West Indian Company. And the profits from trading staples like grain and exotics such as spices, porcelain, precious stones, and textiles were enormous.
You're gonna go to Mama.
మనం ఇందాక వెళ్ళిన వైపు కాకుండా ఇంకో వైపు వచ్చాం.
ఈ చెట్లు ఎంత గ్రీన్గా
We're now traveling along what was once the outer defense wall of the city. The original city boundary was to the right. To the left, salt marsh and the North Sea. The red brick tower coming up ahead of us is the medieval Montalbaantoren. An ideal lookout for sighting potential invaders, it was built to protect the city's shipyards, wharves, and warehouses from attack. From here, Dutch soldiers armed with longbows, crossbows, and little firearms called arquebuses kept watch over the wide expanses below.
The tower's white spire and clocks were added a century later. They were designed by Hendrik de Keyser, an architect whose work can be seen around Amsterdam, and who you're certain to hear more about on this cruise. The clocks couldn't keep time, and the tower's bells rang out randomly, so locals gave it the nickname Silly Jack.
Not long after the spire and clocks were added, the tower began to list to one side. With some effort, it was pulled to rights. You might be wondering why so many buildings in the city tip to one side or the other. The ground in Amsterdam, a mix of peat, sand, and soil, is very soft. Because of this, buildings were generally designed to be as light as possible. None were very tall, and they often had lots of windows. For stability, they were built on a bed of wooden piles driven as deep as 15 meters, that's 45 feet, into the ground. But if these piles were exposed to the air, they began to rot, and the buildings they supported sank and shifted. Today, water levels in and around the city are carefully controlled to minimize rotting. When new piles are needed, they're made of concrete. Still, you'll see many a house with a sideways tilt.
The Montalbaantoren was a place where sailors gathered before setting out to sea. The journeys were long and difficult, and not everyone returned. Legend has it that the women who loved them also came here to say goodbye, perhaps forever.
We are now on the Odysseans, or Outer Trench Canal. During the 16th century, it served as a defense canal. All the city's canals served one or more of these functions, as a transportation route, a line of defense, or a way to manage water levels. The Odysseans, because of its size and location, did all of these. Because it was one of the only canals wide enough for large ships to sail, and because of its proximity to the harbor, the Odysseans became a convenient place to unload cargo.
ఎన్నో ఏళ్ల క్రితంది ఆ గుడ్డు నీళ్ళలో ఉన్న పాడవలేదు చూడదు.